one thing that really surprised me this week was how Anthony Richardson completely exploded against the New York Jets. So I guess all Anthony Richardson needed after all was a little bit of time to rest on the bench. When he tapped out a few weeks ago, it was a sign that, hey, like, I need you to bench me for 2 games so I can, you know, go in the mirror, reevaluate myself, and come back a better quarterback. Because with this being the best game that we've ever seen out of Anthony Richardson from a passing standpoint, 20 of 30. He had 3 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground that came in the red zone. One of those touchdown runs was the game winner. He also had a nice passing touchdown as well. He threw for 272 passing yards. And what was so impressive about Anthony Richardson in this game wasn't that he played well, it's that he actually delivered with the game on the line. This is the situation that defines if you have a true franchise quarterback or not. Because you live for the situation where you need a touchdown to win, and the ball is in the hands of the guy that you invested a first-round pick into last year. These are the kinds of situations that define if you actually have a legitimate quarterback of the future. And it looks like the Colts might have that in Anthony Richardson. I mean, that game-winning drive was absolutely spectacular. He throws a bomb to Alex Pierce, then right after that throws a dot to Josh Downs to get them in scoring range. He runs for the eventual game-winning touchdown, and he ends the Colts' 3-game losing streak. If you're a Colts fan, you got to have a really big grin on your face, because not only are you walking away with a win, but you're walking away with a reason to continue to believe in your young quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Because when he got benched, there was a lot of talk about, is he a bust? Can he even play? The dude has had the lowest completion percentage of any starting quarterback in the league in the last decade. You know, there were a lot of question marks about Anthony Richardson and what his future with this franchise was going to be. And this game was a great opportunity for him to silence some of the noise. And not only does this win kind of put the Colts season back on track, but it also is a reason to believe that they can get into the playoffs, because now you only play 2 teams that have winning records, that being the Lions and the Broncos, to close out the season. And the other 4 games that you play are against the worst teams in the NFL, the Patriots, the Titans, the Giants, the Jags. The Colts could finish 9-8, 10-7, and sneak into the postseason as a 7th or 6th seed if Anthony Richardson continues to play at this level. And I felt like making the decision to go back to Anthony Richardson made a lot of sense, because if you're going to lose games and you're going to have to deal with turnovers, you rather lose games and have turnovers from Anthony Richardson. Let him get that development. You can't tolerate bad play out of a veteran quarterback. You hold a guy like Joe Flacco to a higher standard than you do Anthony Richardson, because Anthony Richardson is young. He's going to make mistakes. That's what young quarterbacks do. Veteran quarterbacks are expected to take care of the football and be consistent. And you didn't get that level of play out of Joe Flacco. But over the last 2 weeks when Flacco was in, it looks like Anthony Richardson was actually taking notes. He was actually trying to get better. He was trying to grow from that experience. And it's paid off dividends, because he delivers a great performance. And you take down a New York Jets team that I didn't even expect you to beat. I thought that the Jets were going to be able to win this game solely based off the fact that Anthony Richardson hasn't been a reliable passer. But he proved me, and I think everybody in the NFL wrong, because if you can play this well and you can actually make the easy passes, you can make the layups and also make the difficult throws, why can't Anthony Richardson turn the season around for the Colts and get them to the playoffs? I think that benching was something that was necessary for Anthony Richardson, because they pretty much handed him the starting job. Last year, he wasn't expected to beat out Gardner Minshew, and if he was that inconsistent throwing the ball during the games, he was probably doing the same thing in practice. The Colts coaching staff was saying the only way we're going to help this dude develop is by giving him meaningful experience. But with him tapping out, you know, wanting to sit out of play, you had to bench him because you had to send a message to the locker room that, hey, what he did is unacceptable. This is not the culture that we're trying to build. We want everybody to be all in, giving 110% effort. You're not tapping out. You have that never say die attitude. And for Anthony Richardson to have to go through that and respond in this fashion gives you a lot of reasons to be optimistic about what he can become next year. I still think that we're going to see some more inconsistent performances out of Anthony Richardson, but at least after this game, you have a glimpse of what he could be if he's able to put it all together, because not only was he good throwing the football and, really good inside the red zone, but I think that he's really good at evading pressure, buying time for guys to get open. He was looking like what a lot of Colts fans envisioned him becoming, somewhat similar to what Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are. And that's what he looked like in this game today against the New York Jets. I get it that the New York Jets are a dumpster fire. They're a poorly coached team, but you got to give your hat off to Anthony Richardson, man. They say pressure either bursts pipes or makes diamonds, and Anthony Richardson was a diamond in the rough today in the Colts' 28-27 win over the New York Jets. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Life is 10% about what happens to you and 90% about how you respond. And Anthony Richardson responded in a major way. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Indianapolis Colts get hot, maybe pull off an upset against the Broncos or the Detroit Lions and rally into the postseason. This was an incredible performance out of Anthony Richardson, and one that he definitely needed to have to give this organization confidence in his development.